Hey everybody, it's just Josh here, and I've got some thoughts rolling around in my head today about responsibility. And I thought I would share them with you. They're going to come out in no particular order. I like to call this my not-so-random ramblings, all right? So I'd love to hear your thoughts as you have them. Type into the chat, into the comments, and let me know what you think, what your perspective is on responsibility. So, responsibility is something that has been drilled into me as a person since I was really young. It's a strong American value, in my opinion. The way I see it, it's embedded in our language. For example, in English, we say, I dropped the keys. In Spanish, I would say, se me cayeron las llaves. The keys fell from me. There's this sense in English that I'm owning responsibility for my actions. I'm accepting blame. I'm being accountable. This idea of responsibility, I see it embedded in a lot of our language. We have this whole mindset in the United States about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. It's really highly valued and exalted, and responsibility. It seems very important. It seems like something that is a character quality of a good person or a good leader. I started doing some questioning about this, though, a few years back when I was reading through the Bible, and I was coming across some stories of Jesus where, by my definition, and by definitions I had been taught, not just definitions I'd created myself, but by my definitions, Jesus was acting in incredibly irresponsible ways. That's right. That's what I said. This is where it came to the surface for me, and I had to start looking at it, was when I started to see Jesus showing up in stories as irresponsible. For example, he's in the boat with his disciples. This giant storm comes. Now, he's the leader, right? He's the rabbi. These are his disciples. This giant storm comes, and the disciples are freaking out, and Jesus is sleeping in the back of the boat. Nowhere have I seen a book on good leadership that makes any room for what's happening in this story. It seems utterly irresponsible that Jesus wouldn't be awake and engaged with his disciples and calming them down and doing something about the issue at hand, present and engaged, right? Instead, Jesus is sleeping in the back of the boat. Feels totally irresponsible to me and my come from. Second, I see Jesus turning water into wine at this wedding. And there's kind of two sides to this coin. On one hand, I see it's not Mary's responsibility at all to be involved with this. And it's not Jesus' responsibility to do anything about this issue. But on the other hand, I see some irresponsibility from the way that I was taught growing up. And that is, there's this wedding host who should have planned better and who should bear the consequences of his actions, right? He should have had enough wine for the guests. And Jesus steps in and rescues in a way and provides this wine. Okay, so from one way of looking at it, it seems totally irresponsible. So you get what I'm going for here. When I started to see that by my definition of responsibility, Jesus was showing up in what I thought were irresponsible ways at times, it really made me question, do I have a right definition of responsibility? Do I value responsibility the same way God values responsibility? Is responsibility something that God values? And as I've prayed about this, I don't have any clear answers. I just have a lot of questions. But I did get a sense, as I was praying about this, that God said clearly, responsibility is not my word. And then I thought, well, is there anything in the Bible with the word responsibility, that exact word, responsibility, doesn't appear in any Bible that I have seen. So all that to say, these are my thoughts on responsibility as it stands today. And I'm fleshing it out, and I'm curious, and I'm interested to hear what you think about responsibility. I do believe this, and I'll leave you with this, that I have many times exalted my own view of what responsibility is above God, and above God's ways, and above God's invitations. There have been times I have not responded to God's invitations because I thought my responsibility was more important, or my way of responsibility was more important. My wife and I have jokingly said to one another in the last few years, we need to be more irresponsible. And we've moved towards things where we can let go of responsibility and enjoy the freedom of just being human and enjoying life. Enjoy the freedom of receiving good gifts, of offering good gifts, and not bearing this weight of responsibility that maybe we weren't intended to bear. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop me a comment, and I'll catch you later.